Welcome, Max. Okay, we have Veronica, Vidya. It's your fourth class with me. Veronica, Max 26. And Antoinette has something going on with left hip. So we're really going to look out for neck, hips and wrists today. We should do that anyway for everybody, always being really careful with the body and those sort of very tender, risky kind of parts of ourselves. We don't want to injure ourselves at all in yoga. It's all about taking care of the body and making sure we can practice regularly. If we take things too far, it's a sign that, maybe we're doing that in other aspects of our lives as well. Injury happens in all sorts of things, but here we're just going to really take care of ourselves, always listening very closely to the body, every sensation as we move very mindfully. And again, we can transfer that to other aspects of our lives, being very present and gentle and kind with ourselves and with others. Welcome, Kendall. You're a seasoned yogi by the looks. This is relaxation yoga, so you can take the postures as far as you choose to take them in terms of, going in deep. Always listening to the body, as I was just saying. But if you're very familiar with some of these postures, you can play around with them, doing what you need. My words are always just a guide. Listening to the body first. But with relaxation yoga, we're sort of inquiring into the body, but also playing around with the sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous systems. So when we're moving energy around the body with the various movements, but also especially with the back bends and forward bends, we're playing around with different responses it brings out in the body to kind of ideally come out at the end feeling quite balanced, so not particularly energized and not dull, but that beautiful sweet spot in between. And if we approach all of the movements in that way, trying to reach that balance between putting in effort and finding a sense of ease, then we're well on our way to achieving that balance by the end of the class. So finding a comfortable seated position, and really do make sure you are comfortable, whether that means you need to kneel down or even sit in a chair. Welcome, Una. We're just going to close the eyes or have a soft gaze, starting to bring the awareness inwards. It can be a challenge when we're at home where everything else we do in our lives is going on these days. But we can make a choice to just slow it down for a moment, just for this next 1 hour at least. And make friends with the body and with our minds as well. So let's take a couple of deeper breaths here. Maybe just slower breaths if you're somewhere that the air quality isn't great today with the wildfires. That's certainly what's going on in California right now. But slowing the breath is another way of soothing the system. And let's start the class with 3 ohms. You can join me if you like and really feel those sound vibrations resonating through the body and in your respective rooms and even between one another, knowing we're all doing it at the same time together. Inhaling for Om. Om. Okay, let's start moving the body. We're going to start with some really slow movements, opening the body very kindly and gently this morning or this afternoon, depending on where you are. And we're just going to start by drawing the chin down toward the chest, only coming as far as feels good for you, really tuning into that sensation at the back of the neck, maybe even into the lower back. And then very, very slowly, taking a couple of breaths to do it, lifting the chin, and as you do, making sure you're lifting that upper chest as well, and maybe just drawing the eyes up, not overly compressing the back of the neck here. Just getting a good arc in the upper back and returning to center. And we're going to look over our right shoulder, keeping the chin level, shoulders relaxed, face relaxed. Really feeling every sensation as you move. There's quite a bit going on in these very slow, gentle movements in terms of muscle function. And over the left shoulder, only coming as far as feels good for you, getting that nice squeeze feeling without overdoing anything at all. And returning to center. We're going to bring our fingertips up to the collarbones or shoulders and start making small circles in one direction, or big circles, or even teeny tiny ones. Just see what works for you this morning. We're just tuning into the feeling it creates, not how it looks at all. And reversing the other direction. And let's get into the elbows a little bit. We'll do a couple of outs and ins with the hands here, keeping the arms kind of parallel to the floor beneath us. And the next time you come out, just bend the elbows into goddess arms, or as I like to think of it, cactus arms, and just start rolling the shoulders up and down here, kind of getting an unusual movement we don't kind of do in our daily activities, warming up the joints, loosening them up a little bit, opening them very gently. And next time you come up, let's just do a couple of squeeze or stretches with the fingers and squeezes. Just giving them a good waking up here. They don't really get to do these sorts of actions either during the day when we're on our keyboards and phones. And rolling out the wrists a little bit, just gently. And settling the hands back to the lap. Let's do a couple of cat-cows here while we're on the floor. I'm going to draw the belly in and bring the chin down to the chest a little bit, and bring the arms out in front as if you're hugging a big beach ball. And then reversing that, expanding the chest, bringing the chin up a little bit and bringing the shoulder blades back together behind you, and rolling that back in on the exhale. And on the inhale, of course, as you expand the lungs, getting a beautiful kind of roll along all the vertebrae of the spine, really waking up the nervous systems here before we get into some deeper forward and back bends, slowly opening the body. And then coming back to neutral when you're ready. And let's come up onto our feet position. We'll start warming up the legs and feet. Just kind of supporting yourself with the hands, just giving yourself a couple of little bounces here on the toes. Not jamming into anything at all with this support of the hands, fingers strong on the floor. And then bringing the hips up a little bit into this kind of half uttanasana, resting the torso on the thighs, letting the head hang, shoulders relax, and just starting to get a couple of bends in the knees, one at a time. You can go really, really slow here, or if you like, you can go quite quickly, depending on how you're feeling this morning. Sometimes if you're feeling a bit lethargic and dull, it's nice to do some faster movements. And if you're feeling it's hard to slow down and relax, really challenge yourself to go slower. Bella's doing a downward dog for you all there, demonstration. Thanks, Bella. And when you're ready, you can start to straighten the knees a little bit, but nothing that's going to create any discomfort in the lower back or hamstrings. You Doing a nice little stretch there, but nothing that's going to obviously cause any strain. And taking hold of the elbows, can let the head really hang down and use the weight of the head and gravity to elongate the spine, creating some space between the vertebra. And then letting go of the elbows, slowly rolling up, keeping the abdomen in so that you're protecting the lower spine. Very slow, gentle roll up to standing, Tadasana. And let's just walk to the front of the mat. If you like, if you're the kind of person that likes to give it a bit of a shake out, then this is a good time to do it. Animals do this all the time to release tension, so we can use it as well, especially if you're sitting at the desk a lot. Just get up and give yourself a shake. It does amazing things. So let's find Tadasana. You can bring the pointer finger and thumb together if you like in Chin Mudra. It can help with focus and concentration, or just have the hands relaxed, whatever is right for you. Feet are parallel, comfortable distance apart. And chin is parallel too to the floor. Ankles, knees, hips, shoulders, and ears. You can start with them in one line from the side, and then just let the knees relax a little bit and find your center of gravity here, just by having weight spread evenly over both feet, toes and heels. And let's move into some sun salutations, really good for the general systems of the body. Just taking it easy here in relaxation yoga. If you like, you can go really fast, but I'm going to go slow, so I invite you to be slow as well. Let's start with the palms together in front of the chest and extend them out in front. You can interlock the thumbs and pull the hands away from one another using the thumbs. Gives you a little support in the back as we do a little back bend here, opening the chest. And slowly hinging forward from the hips with a flat back to begin. Coming down over the thighs. And as the back rounds, you can let go and place the hands either side of the feet. And step the left leg back on the mat into a low lunge to begin in this first round. Looking forward. Seeing how that feels in the back of the neck. Opening up the left hip here on the inside. So just taking a couple of breaths to allow that to slowly open. And then place the hands properly on the floor. And if you do have issues with your wrists, you can make fists with the thumb sticking out for support. And bring the right leg back and just stay in a plank if you like. Or even bring the knees to the floor to take some pressure off the wrists there. Otherwise, coming up into downward dog, and you can do that with fists as well to protect the wrists, or have hands flat. Palms taking the weight and the fingers. And let's all come into a plank for a moment, and maybe even come back and forth or hold the position. See what feels right in your body. Perhaps this sort of dynamic movement feels good for you this morning. Further warming up the joints. And then let's all bring knees, chest and chin to the mat, leaving the pelvis raised slightly to get a nice little back bend in the lower back. And then slide forward, raising head, neck and chest. Doesn't have to come up high, more sort of forward and upward than upward and backward. And pressing into the hands or fists, coming up into downward dog or plank. And this time, looking between the hands first, bring the left leg forward, the foot between the hands, into the low lunge on the other side here, opening up the right side of the hip. Breathing calmly and really inviting that hip to open gently. You'll find your body opens more. I certainly find this if I'm very gentle with it and slow, breathing into it, rather than forcing anything. Step the back foot forward, even with the left, into this Uttanasana forward fold again. Maybe you want to take hold of the elbows again. Perhaps you've loosened up a little bit here. You might be able to straighten the knees a little bit more. See how that goes. And then Let's slowly roll up again, one vertebra at a time, making sure that belly is drawn in a little bit so that you're not putting too much pressure on the low back. Raise the arms up alongside the ears, interlock the thumbs, gentle back bend. And straightening up, bringing the palms together in front of the heart. And relaxing in Tadasana, again with hands in Chin Mudra if that felt helpful to you for focus and concentration. So even though we're doing all these beautiful, slow, mindful movements, we keep our focus and not space out here. Palms together in front of the chest for second round. And extending the arms out with interlocked thumbs again. Another beautiful little back bend here, opening the chest. And hinging forward from the hips, coming down slowly with a flat back to begin. And then let it go. Placing hands either side of the feet. We're going to step the right foot back this time. And you can flatten that back foot and bring the hands to the knees. And then just allow that hip to open a little bit more by allowing the pelvis to kind of sink in a relaxed way towards the mat, towards the floor that's holding you. Keeping the chest open and shoulders relaxed, face relaxed. Just only coming into that as far as feels good. Keeping that front knee above the ankle. And if you like, you can even bring the arms alongside the ears and lift the chin. Otherwise, just staying as you were, holding that position. Or reaching up. Returning the head if you raised it. Hands to knee and then mat again. Curl that back toe and bring the front leg back into downward dog or plank with fists. And let's come forward and bring knees, chest and chin. Sliding forward again into low cobra to begin with. Let the feet flatten at the back. And slide the elbows forward into Sphinx position, getting a nice little compression in the low back. Again, breathing a couple of times here to allow that to settle into the body. So it's not a kind of crunch. It's more of a beautiful pressing feeling in the lower back. And if you like, you can stay there or walk the hands up into an upward dog position, keeping the shoulders away from the ears. And if you like, gently lifting the chin. Beautiful back bend. And walking back down through Sphinx. Back into low cobra with the arms under the shoulders and extending the head forward and upward. Then curling the toes under and pressing back up into downward dog. Making whatever variations you need to for your body. And let's step the right foot. Look between the hands first and then bring the right foot forward between them. And flatten that back foot down, bringing hands up to the knees. Beautiful. And allowing that pelvis to relax down again, opening up the other side of the hip inside, sort of the groin area. And again, lifting the hands alongside the ears if that felt good last time or you want to try it. Lifting the chin toward the ceiling. Really lifting up if you're doing this out of the waist while you're allowing the hips to come down towards the floor. And returning the head, hands to knees and then the floor, curling the back toe and stepping it forward. Uttanasana. And let's come up into the ironing board by having the hands on the shins and creating a sort of right angle with the body. Flat back here, holding for a couple of breaths. And then relaxing down. Coming up once more into this right angle pose. Strengthening lower back and legs. And come back down. And then bring the arms alongside the ears with interlocked thumbs to bring the body up. Bending back a little bit from just below the shoulder blades. And palms together in front of the chest. Relaxing the arms alongside the body. Again, hands in Chin Mudra or just relaxed completely. We'll do our third round with a couple more variations. Palms together in front of the chest, extending them out with interlocked thumbs alongside the ears, bending back. And hinging forward, flat back until it rounds and then let go. Hands either side of the feet, left leg comes back. This time, if you like, try keeping the knee up off the floor. And when you feel like you've got equal pressure, equal weight in both front and back legs, bring the torso up, placing the palms on the hips to make sure those hips are sort of facing the same direction you're facing. Not forcing anything, but just that's the general position. And if both feet and legs feel really stable and strong here, again, you can lift the arms into this warrior one, beautiful, strong, balancing and focusing pose, strengthening the legs here, reaching up from out of the waist, and even squeeze that left glute a little bit to straighten the left leg. And coming down, first hands to hips or knees and then to the floor, lowering that knee back down, still keeping the toe curled and stepping the right foot back into downward dog. Resting in this inversion for a moment by raising the hips up to the ceiling, allowing the heels to come towards the floor, getting a beautiful stretch in the back of the legs. And let's lift the left leg up, keeping the balance and weight in the right leg and foot, only lifting as far as feels right for you, and then maybe bending the knee and opening up that hip. If that works for you, it doesn't have to be deep. It can be really, really subtle. And then returning, foot back down to the mat into downward dog. Let's do it with the right as well, raising it up, three-legged dog. Seeing how that shifts the weight into the left leg, bending the right knee and stacking the hips a little bit or a lot, whatever feels good. And straightening the hips again, lowering that right leg down. Let's come down, knees, chest and chin, pelvis raised. Sliding forward either into Bhujangasana or upward facing dog. And rolling back down, pressing the hands, using strength of the arms to come up into downward dog again. Stepping, looking between the feet and stepping left foot forward between them. And if you like, again on this side, keeping the knee raised off the mat. Slowly bringing the torso up, bringing hands to knee or hips. And again, lifting through from the waist. And if you want, raising arms alongside the ears, even raising the chin. Really strong posture, warrior one. Squeezing the right glute and lifting up through the chest. Returning the head, returning the hands, stepping back foot forward into that forward fold. And let's bend the knees here and slowly bring the torso up to Utkatasana chair pose. You can have the arms stretched out in front, really putting the weight here in the heels. Holding or coming out, you can even come up to standing and back in if you like. Do it this dynamic way, suits some bodies better, and depends day to day as well. Otherwise, holding, breathing calmly, and then coming out of the posture, arms up alongside the ears, bending back, and palms together in front of the heart. You can pause here and feel the heartbeat on the back of the thumbs maybe. And then relaxing into Tadasana, hands in Chin Mudra or just soft by your sides. Nice, everyone. Warming up now. Really, I don't know about you, but feeling a little looser and more comfortable in the body now. It feels good. Let's bend the spine in a few more directions. Standing with feet parallel, a comfortable distance as always apart. You can have them even right up together and squeeze all the muscles of the legs together, even the glutes, and then have the upper body kind of straight but relaxed. Sort of looks like this. Or you can have the feet about hip width apart or so, kind of relaxed like we did in Tadasana just before. See what works for you. I'm going to just have a more Tadasana style position. Raising the arms up alongside the ears, and you can have them just parallel to one another, shooting straight up to the ceiling, or you can interlock the fingers and thumb and have the pointer finger released in this Kali Mudra. And what we're going to do is lift, ground down through the feet, but from the waist up, really stretching up towards the ceiling, opening up the chest, keeping the spine spacious, long and strong, flexible. And we're going to start to push that left hip to one side, relaxing that whole side of the body, keeping straight in the we're looking. So no twisting here. It's like as if you're going between two panes of glass. And that left side of the body is all open. And right side of the body is getting a beautiful squeezy compression. Coming back up. And the other side. Really lifting out of the waist, not crunching down. Opening one side of the body and giving a beautiful massage to the other side. And coming back up. And allowing the arms to come down by your sides. Shaking that out a little bit. And let's do some more balancing postures. We'll start with Gardadasana, the eagle pose. You can bring the arms up alongside the ears. And then swoosh them down, bringing the right arm underneath the left arm. Twisting the arms. Keeping them elbows up quite high. And we're going to bend left knee and bring right leg up over the top. See where that lands. Kind of crossing the legs. And even seeing if you can wrap that foot behind that ankle. Sitting down a little bit more if that feels good. Doesn't matter how much you bend down. Just see what feels right, what feels like it's that beautiful sweet spot again between ease and effort. And coming back up and out. Arms come up overhead and swooshing them under. Now left arm under right arm. Coming down, left leg comes over right. Beautiful eagle pose, opening up the joints even more here and giving the muscles a real squeeze so that when we release them, fresh oxygenated blood rushes in, waking them up and revitalizing that part of the body. And coming out when you're ready. Very nice. And let's come down to the floor. We'll get more into the back here. You can try Malasana to come down a nice squat by bringing the palms together in front of the chest. Have the legs sort of maybe shoulder width apart or so. And I like to have the feet pointing out. Remembering that knees always come down in the same direction as the toes. Otherwise, it's no good for the knees. So just coming down when you're ready, bouncing a few times, adjusting the position of the feet to make sure they're a good distance apart for you to come down in between them. And having elbows kind of inside the knees to press the hips open a little bit. Of course, not doing this if it's too much for your hips. But it can be a really nice way to sort of gently open them up after we've already been working on loosening them a little bit. Okay, coming to when you need to. And coming down onto the floor in Savasana. Just going to lie down on the back. A nice way to come down, I find, is to just extend, sitting in Dandasana. Extending the arms forward, palms facing up, and bringing the belly in to protect your lower spine, rolling carefully down, or just coming down whatever way suits you. All depends on your body and how it's feeling today. And just relaxing here, feet flopping open about shoulder width apart. Palms face the ceiling. Maybe you want to have them again in that chin mudra position to maintain some focus and awareness. And closing the eyes or just gently gazing at the ceiling, softening the eyes, softening the face, relaxing the jaw, and doing a little scan of the body to make sure there's no tension being held anywhere unnecessarily. And if you like, you can send a little message to any part of the body that feels like it's holding on to something and just invite it to relax. Maybe that's just a message you can send to the whole body overall. And the digestive organs can hold on to things. I find just asking them to relax and soften can make a difference. Okay, when you're ready, we're going to do a couple of leg lifts here. Really beautiful way to again loosen up hips if we go slowly and build some strength in the core area of the torso, which helps us sort of sit comfortably, whether that's for meditation, preferably, or whether that's sitting at the desk for work. So we don't sort of squish down when we're sitting. We can keep a nice erect torso. So let's start with the right leg. Just going to lift the right leg up and lower it down. Maybe pause a little bit when it's just above the floor and then let it down. And then lifting it again and doing the same thing, lowering it until it's a couple of inches off the floor and then lowering it. We'll do 3 more. Compare it with the breath if you like. So breathing out as you lift it up and then breathing in as you hold it above the floor and then lower it. Again, breathing out. Breathe in now and then let it down. And we'll switch to the left leg now. Doing the same thing. Exhale, raise the leg and lower it. And then inhale. And then exhale, lift. Inhale. Exhale, lift. Inhale. 2 more. Lift. And then inhale when it's near the floor. And exhale on the lift. And inhale as it comes close to the floor. And relax. Now let's lift. You can put the palms on the floor for this one to help with the steadiness. You can bend the knees first. And then raise them up toward the ceiling. And then let's slowly, you can leave them here if you like, and just get a beautiful sort of semi-inversion here. Allow the blood to run out of the legs and towards the heart. Or you can slowly lower the legs very, very gently and making sure that lower back stays on the floor as much as possible. You can sort of tip the pelvic bone up toward your face a tiny bit to make sure that lower back stays on the floor. And if it feels too much in the abdomen or on the lower back, or even you might feel that somewhere in the upper chest, then just bend the knees and lower them down. You can try it again. Otherwise, just holding the legs in this upright position is totally fine as well. Beautiful way to rest the heart muscles. Otherwise, working on the abdominals, lower back here. Holding the position just as long as feels right, not forcing into anything uncomfortable. And lowering down. Now let's all lower them down. And let's take a couple of deeper breaths here, or slower breaths. And feel the abdomen rise and fall as you do that. Really getting some movement there in the belly as we breathe for Purnamaktasana. Going to bring the right leg up toward the chest and hold on just below the knee. Gently pull the knee towards the chest and feel that beautiful pressure it creates on the abdomen. And if you keep that belly breath going, creates a nice massage for the digestive system. Purnamaktasana, wind removal pose, so you get the idea. Taking these big belly breaths allows a gentle, natural massage to occur in that part of the body. We start on the right side here on the ascending colon and lower it down. And lift the left leg, same way, to work on the descending colon. Breathing into the belly to get that squeeze in the digestive organs on each side. And lowering it down. And then we bring both legs up toward the head, taking belly breaths again. The parasympathetic nervous system, so a real calming shape and movement here with the belly. You can let go of the hands, let the feet come down to the floor and pause and just let that settle in for a moment. And let's lift the left knee, right arm overhead, and pressing in through the left foot to roll ourselves over onto the belly, shifting back onto your mat if you need to. And let's do a couple of upward facing boats here. We can do this dynamically or can hold the position. And I'll just demonstrate what that means. So we're going to do cactus or goddess arms like we did at the start of the class, which is having elbows bent, arms are sort of coming away from the body. So anyway, I'll just show you here. So this shape with the arms, but laying on the belly. Or you can extend them right out if you like. But I prefer this way personally. Just see what works for you. And with the forehead or chin on the mat, I'm going to have mine raised a little bit because I've got my microphone here. I don't want to squish. And making sure your body, you might want to give yourself a stretch first actually. Make sure the spine is long and spacious. And then let's come up with the legs. So the bottom half of the body and the top half of the body both come up off the mat. And as I said before, you can hold this position, making sure you're not resting on the pelvic bone too much. You want to bring the weight onto the belly. And then lowering down, chin or forehead to the mat, legs lower down. And then coming back up. And you can do this dynamically, as I said, just raising and lowering, but not collapsing anything. Just a beautiful rhythmic movement here, unless you prefer to hold it for, say 10 to 15 seconds and then come out. Really beautiful way to strengthen the back and abdominal muscles here as well. Really squeezing the shoulder blades together as you come up. And as I say, just lowering down as carefully as you come up, not collapsing. Everything is deliberate, conscious, and mindful here. And when you're ready, you can do one more raise. Maybe hold that last one. Breathing calmly. If the breath starts to labor, that's a sign to come out. Always. And then just release, turn the head to one side. You can bring the hands underneath the cheek if you like in this crocodile pose and just let all the muscles relax. The muscles we just used, allowing that to settle beautifully into the body, being absorbed. And let's do Dhanurasana bow pose by bending the knees and reaching back to take hold of either ankles or feet. Play around with the hand position, see what feels good. Being mindful of the quads, the quadriceps here, the tops of the thighs. Just noticing how that feels in the tops of the legs. Beautiful stretch. If we just pause here for a couple of breaths, we can really allow them to soften in this stretch or get used to this position. And even just staying in here and taking nice, long, smooth breaths. Or if you like, keeping the arms straight, you can press the feet into the hands, raising the lower half of the body up off the floor and then the front half. Again, resting the weight on the abdomen, getting a beautiful pressure on the aorta in that part of the body that sends a good rush of blood to all the organs in the abdominal area. You can look forward, or you can raise the eyes up as far as you can see to the top of your vision, or you can even close the eyes. See what feels good. And then give yourself one more push of the feet into the hands, and then lower down slowly, releasing the feet. And again, finding this crocodile pose, turning cheek to one side and letting all of the muscles relax. Releasing and letting go, letting that settle into the body. Beautiful. And we're going to come up now, pressing hands underneath the shoulders, coming into child's pose. You can have the knees really wide on the mat with the toes together, and press the hips down into the heels, stretching forward with the arms to begin getting a nice stretch in the armpits and all along the back. You can put the forehead on the floor if it reaches or wants to be there. And maybe come up a little bit and bring the knees together if that works for you, and forehead to the floor. And then slowly bring the arms down alongside the body. Tops of the hands resting on the floor, besides the feet, palms facing up. And getting this nice massage on the pituitary gland of the forehead, Ajna chakra. Pausing here for a moment. Allowing the back to release after all those back bends. Just feeling the shoulder blades slide apart. And muscles along the spine completely relax. And when you're ready, slowly raising the head, keeping the back flat as possible or as comfortable. Raising the torso up into Vajrasana here. Placing the hands on knees. Hands in Chin Mudra again, if you like, to maintain this awareness, meditative focus. And let's just check in with the body and mind again, like we did at the start of class. Being aware of how you're feeling at this point in the session. Okay, we'll move into a beautiful long forward fold here now, Paschimottanasana. It's a beautiful way to activate the parasympathetic nervous system, the rest and digest response in the body. And we're going to do this slow and mindful, really careful of hamstrings or back. We're going for activation of the nervous system here, not sort of like trying to lengthen anything or anything like that. And you'll find that maybe you lengthen it better by doing it in a more relaxed, restorative way. You can bring a prop underneath the back of the knees here to take pressure off lower back, if that feels good. I've got a rolled blanket. Or just have the knees bent a little bit or flat. Just play around with what feels right for you. You don't want any strain at all anywhere in the body. Maybe walking the hips back a little bit to find the sits bones, which are those sort of roundy bits on the bottom of the pelvic bone if you've ever seen a skeleton. We've all got one under there somewhere. And just making sure you're comfortable, the spine is erect but not stiff in this position, raising the arms up alongside the ears. And you can, again, link the thumbs together and sort of pull them apart to help support the spine as we slowly come down with a flat back, taking several breaths to come down here. Feet point up towards the ceiling, bending the knees if you need to here to keep the integrity of the spine. And as the back does begin to round, or you feel like you're ready to let go, just do that. Let go, let the head hang, let the shoulders relax. Head lands wherever it lands, just hangs heavy here. Breathing gently, calmly, and just feeling how that slowly can open up the back, maybe for you. Using the breath to become a little bit more released. So when you take a breath in, maybe see if you can make the spine a little longer without forcing anything. And then as you breathe out, just let it go. Shoulder blades again relax apart from one another. And as you're breathing here, see if you're able to feel that activation of the relaxation response in the body. Releasing spine. And inadvertently, not inadvertently, but also getting that beautiful stretch from heels, calves, backs of the legs into the hips, lower back all the way along the spine and back into the upper back and neck, extension of the spine, head hangs, releasing. Slowly coming out by lifting the chin first alongside the ears, interlocking the thumbs to help support the back, coming back up to seated. Release the arms, pausing, taking a breath, and let's roll down into Yoga Nidra, so Savasana first. If you want to put socks on, as I was saying earlier, the temperature can drop a little bit during this part of the class. You can put sweaters on or whatever. Don't know what the temperature's like where you are. San Francisco summer isn't that hot, especially compared to where I'm from. So whatever you need to feel comfy, maybe a pillow under the head. And rolling down or getting yourself down with hands and elbows, whatever works. Finding a beautiful, relaxing, comfortable Savasana, corpse pose. And let's do a couple of rounds of Sigra Savasana or progressive muscle relaxation. So we're going to spread the fingers out really wide, spread the toes out really wide, give arms and legs a good stretch away from the body, even stretch the neck long. And then we're going to squeeze the fingers into a fist, not too hard if you've got problems with that part of the body, and squeeze the toes, squeeze all the muscles of the arms and legs, even the glutes, as if you're squishing, pulling them in towards the bone, sucking them towards the bone, and then squeezing the glutes and squeezing all the face muscles in towards the nose like a tiny little prune face, and hold, and then let it all go at once. Let the arms and legs drop, face relax completely. Beautiful way to release tension from the body. Let's do it one more time, stretching the fingers out, toes out, then making fists, squeezing the toes, squeezing all the muscles in the whole body, even the face, and hold. And then let it release all at once. And roll the head from side to side, gently rolling out the neck. Just small, gentle movements here. And make any adjustments that you need with the position of the body to make sure you're giving yourself the best opportunity to remain perfectly still for the next several minutes to get the most out of this practice, Yoga Nidra. Deep relaxation. And feeling the head supported by the floor beneath you or the cushion. Feeling the upper shoulders beautifully held. And the back and the arms and hands held, supported by the floor. Don't have to do anything here. And the glutes, backs of the legs and the heels as the toes flop open, completely supported. Even merging a little bit with the floor, maybe, so relaxed and still. And the front of the body is open, spacious, light. These beautiful contradictory feelings of heaviness and lightness we can feel when we're in this relaxed state. You can have the eyes open, taking in all of the colors and shapes in the room you're in. Or you can close the eyes and draw awareness deeper within. As we move through the body part by part here, inviting every little muscle to soften and release, beginning with the toes. Each toe is relaxed. Balls of the feet, soles of the feet and the heels completely letting go. Tops of the feet and ankles. Relaxing the calf muscles and the shins. The kneecaps and the back of the knees are relaxed. And the quadricep muscles on the tops of the thighs are completely soft here, as are the hamstrings around the back of the legs. Just let them go, really let them soften and release. And the hips are relaxed. Glute muscles can let go. And coming into the fingers now, fingers are all relaxed and released. Maybe they drop a millimeter lower toward the floor as you let them go completely. Palms and backs of the hands and wrists. Forearms and the elbows, inside and tips of the elbows are relaxed. And the upper arms, those bicep muscles can be really still and soft. Even the inside of the armpits, think of the four walls of the armpits as being completely relaxed. Coming down now to the belly, letting that completely soften. Even all the organs inside the belly can literally relax down toward the floor in this position due to gravity. And the lower back, moving up the middle back and the upper back, all completely relaxed here. Moving around the ribs, relaxing the ribs and relaxing the organs inside their heart and lungs. And the throat, we can allow that to soften and kind of open a little bit. Front of the neck and back of the neck, shoulders, that whole part of the body can soften as well. As we move up into the head, relaxing the jaw, tongue rests gently in the mouth, lips are soft, nose and cheeks, eyes and ears all still and soft, released. Back of the head and the crown of the head, scalp softens, and the forehead just feels smooth and cool, released and relaxed. Whole body completely relaxed here in this beautiful yogic sleep. And the key about yogic sleep is that we keep our awareness with us, so we don't drift away, even though it feels tempting to do that sometimes. Keep the focus, the awareness. Observe the beautiful functioning of the body in this still state as the body breathes by itself. Gentle rhythm and flow. And then we can bring our awareness to the mind. Do the same thing with the mind. Let it relax by not stopping the thoughts, allowing them all in. Wide, spacious mind. Always generating thoughts and memories and images and ideas, plans. We can let that happen, but not get involved in any of it right now. Just for a couple of minutes. Resting the mind, making friends with the mind. And resting the body, making friends with the body as well here, same time. And as we do that, we can get in touch with our real self, our true self, which is peace and calm. And sometimes it can be difficult to connect with this place. And if you are having trouble with that right now, just return to scanning your body, watching the breath, observing the thoughts, and try again. And just know that no matter what you're feeling right now, this is still a healing practice. You may not feel it right away, but just know. And let's just have 1 minute of silence in this beautiful space of peace. And I'll let you know when that minute is up. Om Shanti. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Slowly bringing awareness back to the breath. Drawing in a little more oxygen by taking a slightly deeper breath. And as you do, feel literally that oxygen, or know that that oxygen reaches every little cell of the body, revitalizing and re-energizing it. Whole body, fresh energy. And you can start to wake the body by wriggling fingers and toes, working into larger movements with hands and feet and legs and arms. Even taking the arms and stretching them up alongside the head, giving the whole body from toes to fingers a really good long stretch. And very slowly taking your time, being very gentle with the body since we've found this little, got in touch with our peace. Roll to the side and pause a little bit. Then gently pressing into the hands, raising the torso and body up, bringing the head last. Going to find our comfortable seat again, moving, as I say, very carefully and gently. And whether you're kneeling down or sitting cross-legged or sitting in a chair, whatever works. We'll finish the session with a little breathing and more calming of the nervous system. But we're going to balance it out with an energizing breath, moving into a calming breath. And if you want to just sit here and watch the breath as it naturally flows in and out, that's totally fine as well. Otherwise, you can join me with Kapalabhati, the skull shining breath, where we squeeze and snap the belly in each time we exhale in a rhythmic pattern. Sort of looks and sounds like this. We relax the belly completely first and then breathing out through the nose and naturally breathing in. It looks like this. Join me if you like. Low exhale, slow exhale, and then deep inhale. Holding the breath at the top and gentle, slow breath out. And let's do a minute of Nadi Shuddhi if you want to join me. Otherwise, as I say, just sitting, calm, natural breaths is fine as well. Otherwise, raising right hand and releasing end 2 fingers and thumbs, sealing the right nostril and allowing the air to come out the left nostril. Breathing in the left nostril, switching the hand position so you seal the left and breathe out the right. And finding your own pace here. If it's in your practice regularly to do alternate nostril breathing, then you know what to do. Otherwise, follow me, switching to the thumb and breathing out the left. And breathing in the left. Switching the hand and breathing out the right. And breathing in the right. Beautiful way to slow the breath and balance the hemispheres of the brain. Switching again here. Always starting on the out breath on each side. And without rushing, next time you breathe out the right nostril, slowly return the hands to your knees or lap, pausing here and noticing how you feel without any judgment. And if you like, you can stay here seated with eyes closed as I chant us out with some thankful chanting. I'll tell you what it means. You can join me if you know it. Asato ma sat gamaya, tamaso ma jyotir gamaya, mrityurma amritam gamaya. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. And it means lead us from unreal to real. Lead us from darkness to the light. Lead us from fearing death to knowing immortality. Om, peace, peace, peace. Jai Shri Sadguru Maharaj Ki Jai. Thanks everybody for sharing your practice with me this morning or this afternoon, depending where you are. I hope you have a beautiful rest of your Sunday. Enjoy the weekend, the last beautiful, relaxing bits. And as always, please ask any questions you might have in the chat. Reach out on Facebook. Thanks for joining me again. I do relaxation yoga Monday and Wednesday nights. If you enjoyed today, then come and get some more. Otherwise, any yoga is good yoga. So, thanks for joining me.